some of my friends who are looking at this, who are very concerned about it all,
Mm-hmm.
are
They should be.
concerned about the jail being really past fixing up. And how do you see that? How could that be done so that people who are so worried about the people who have to be in our jail as it is now, as it has been let go and not maintained for so long, do you think it's worth keeping, trying to fix it?
Absolutely. We're talking about multiple different conversations
Can
that
I
have all
interject?
been convoluted and mixed up and snarled into a big mess, and you have to untangle the mess. Go ahead.
There's a building across the street from the courthouse, the city hall, that is 100 years old. It's in fine shape. Why is a 30-year-old building not good enough? Why has it deteriorated to that degree?
The jail.
The jail.
And the fact of the matter is, when you go in and you look at the jail, and you read the Design to Last reports, and you take people in who are construction people, and you actually look at the physical structure. I've remodeled 4 houses in my life. And it's a commercial facility that's made of concrete and steel. There are not that many cracks in that building. In fact, I only saw one that was like an earthquake type, but it was a small fracture crack. That building is structurally sound, and it was structurally sound as a maximum security prison. Maximum security jails are not humane by their very nature. They're made of concrete and steel. So there's a difference in definitions of the word inhumane or humane. If you're looking at that jail as a maximum security facility, it absolutely will hold any dangerous person safely inside that jail. Now, is it clean? No, it isn't. But that's an inhumane management problem that is the responsibility of the sheriff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, there's a difference between maintenance and taking care of the facility from the standpoint of keeping it clean, keeping it painted a decent color so it's not dark and dingy and depressing. There's a difference between cleaning the filth that might be on the floor and disinfecting it. There's a difference between not getting good air circulation. Now that's one problem. So the physical structure of the building is one problem. The second problem is the management of that facility as a operator. There's a third one that has to do with the security of the facility, which has to do with operations and management. And when I talked with the people who manage the facility itself, they have to fix anything that is unsafe in that structure the instant they get something called a kite, which is a request from the sheriff's department or people that are working inside the jail. So they have a legal mandate, period. They must fix it. It is a number one top priority. So if they don't fix it, it's a huge problem because everybody that is owned by the county in that jail, they have a fiduciary responsibility to be careful of, take care of. So that's a totally different conversation from the others. Then there's a fourth conversation, and that is how long are people being held in that jail, and should non-violent people be held with violent people in a maximum security jail? Why in the world are we putting 18-year-olds that got drunk up at Western and were stupid? Why are we putting them in the middle of a maximum security facility where you've got somebody who's methed out or in withdrawals? I mean, why are you doing that? That's not even logical, especially given that we have 3 jails in the community. We have another jail. We built a 150-bed jail over at Division Street. We built it on this sheriff's watch.
With tax dollars.
With tax dollars. We've passed 2 taxes since this sheriff has taken office, since this sheriff has taken over management of that facility. And we built a 150-bed minimum security jail, and he talks about it like it's just a work release facility. Well, that's what you label it when, as a jail industry, you want that to become an income generator for you, and you fill it up with people who are living on warrants, who are trying to re-enter society, etc. Why are we not using it for minimum security people? Why do we not segment our population? Why do we try to pretend that non-dangerous people have to be living in a maximum security facility? That's absurd. We've got a 5th problem, and that is the fact that the sheriff is operating the sheriff's department in the basement of the jail. That's taking up 1 floor of the building. The sheriff's department can't even mobilize quickly out of that basement. It is illogical, frankly, in my opinion, to be running a sheriff's department in the basement of a jail. If we did, in fact, have an earthquake or a problem, why are we Why are we asking the sheriff's department to try to figure out how to get out of the basement so they can go help people? Why don't we have them operating in a separate facility? We
Which
have a
there
place.
are places.
We have the Emergency Operations Center. It's a 24,000 square foot facility where the sheriff's department is only like using 20,000 square feet. They could be located in the Emergency Operations Center where they have direct access to all communications, all fast mobility. They've got direct access to I-5, to downtown Bellingham, to out on the coast of Bellingham. They have maximum crisis management, disaster preparedness mobility there. Why are we not there? We actually have REIT funds, real estate excise tax funds, that could be used. We have money that comes in from the disaster corporations that could be used. The sheriff, at one point in some of our negotiations, I don't even remember what year it was, Irene, but they were talking about the sheriff said he's got like $18 million that he could access to build his
15, I think.
facility.
2015.
So we didn't even have to pass a tax to help him with his 2.5 acre sheriff's compound out in the county.
Yep.
What in the world are we doing? Why are we taking so much money? Why are we bankrupting local citizens to pay taxes, more taxes? Because the middle class can't afford to pay more taxes. Go talk to them. Go ask them how they're dealing with the downturn in the economy. Go ask the poor people living on the street, can I afford to pay more sales taxes for my food? They can't. We have limited.
Food, we don't have tax on food.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But they don't need to, why are we paying sales tax when we don't need it? And the only answer that eventually we came up with is that taxes today in America are being used to underwrite the expansion of the jail industrial complex for the benefit of privateering companies that have been brought into our local communities to pretend or to make up for the unsustainability of the jail and justice system. It is expensive to run maximum security facilities. It is expensive to pay for fleets. It is expensive to pay for courtrooms and judges and benefits and all this stuff. We've got this massive corporation churn. And if we simply stop that, which is what we did, it forced the city to go back and be inventive.
Yep.
It forced the Lummi Nation to go back and be inventive. And it has actually forced the sheriff to change some of his rules inside his jail operations to let people out just a little bit faster so that we don't have such long stays inside the jail.
And there's one thing that you left out that I know is important, is the third place where you could move people is the juvie facility, which has 30 beds, and the women have one cell that is houses 30 women, so we can move those 30 women up to the juvie and have a floor that is empty, so that the rest of it can be refurbished and remodeled, cleaned up, and take 50% of the people out of the jail because they're nonviolent, and put them on EHMs, put them over in Division Street, because it's only a third to a half full most of the time. So there's lots and lots and lots.
We can do short terms. We can do
Juvie, what do you mean by juvie?
Juvenile.
Juvenile.
Juvenile's on the
jail.
6th floor of the courthouse.
and it's in perfect shape. It's operated not by the Whatcom County Sheriff's Department. It's operated by the Superior Court and by the judges. So that is a beautifully well done facility. It's well managed. It's
yellow.
Painted. It's yellow. It's got blue
awesome.
painting. It is beautiful. And in fact, you know what? In other cities around the nation, they're getting rid of juvenile jails completely. Other cities around the nation are disentangling themselves from major corporations that are running services. We have multiple things that are happening across the nation, and it's silly to continue to do and to pretend that we have to do what we did in the 20th century when we're living in the 21st century, and we know that the systems don't work. And
so
they're
crime
negative.
is going
We can
down.
change it.
Crime is on the decrease all across our nation.
In fact, the prosecutor, what year was it? 2015.
Yeah.
He was standing in front of the county council when the county council was trying to figure out if we were telling him the truth and why were we having to build this jail when we didn't have a proper needs assessment. The prosecutor actually stood in front of the council and said, in the last 10 years, the serious crime rate has gone down 25% over the last 10 years. Juvenile crime has gone down 85% in the last 10 years, and that's why we need a new jail. I have that on video. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
And one of the county council members said, "Did you really say that?
Could you repeat
Could
that?
you repeat it?" And he did. And he said, because we know that the fear of going to prison is what's driving that crime rate down. That's not even logical. That doesn't even add up. So we have in Whatcom County a habit pattern of thinking that we need to build bigger jails, that everybody, one size fits all. You do a crime, you do your time, and you go to prison. You go to a local jail that operates like a prison. And the problem with that is that the trauma compounds, and we end up throwing people back in the streets. They end up homeless, they end up in poverty, they end up with mental illness, and it is because the system is out of whack, and we can fix the system in Whatcom County, and we're in a perfect position to do it now, providing we do not pass another tax.
Yep.
First.
So, Joy,
Truly.
we
Yes.
need to wind this up.
Yep.
And
Gee.
I want to thank you for coming and explaining all of this so that it's clear
Mhm.
and so that people can get to know what's actually going on. Like me, I really appreciate it. And also, Irene, thank you for helping out.
You're entirely welcome. You
She
can't
more
make me
than-
stop.
She did more than
Well, I
help
know
out.
that. Thank God. that you
She
won't
kept
stop.
stirring the pot under here, and she'd go, "Joy, did you notice this? Well, what about that? Well, look at this." And I'd go, "I don't want to do this." "Yeah, you do want to do this." "No, I don't want to do this."
Well, and one day I
We didn't want to do this.
walked into her office and I had my hand on my hip and I says, "We've been snookered."
And I said, "What do you mean?"
So I just gave her another piece.
Yeah,
And that's when she wrote one of her reports.
Well, when you understand that the contrarianness of the world has changed between the 20th century and the 21st century, our world changed. With 9/11, the world changed. The systems changed. Our understanding of business changed. Our fear factor changed. The speed of technology, the globalization of corporations. There's all kinds of things that happened in that period that flipped the economy over. And now it's time to step up and look at that and say, what had happened that happened and how can we fix it? Because right now, promoting jails isn't working.
Old
It's the
news.
marketing funnel to prisons, and we can't afford it, frankly.
Thanks for taking on the big challenge of
It's a good
running
one.
for Whatcom County Sheriff, Joy.
Yeah, the sheriff is the one person who can actually change it. That's what I've learned, is that in every county, we've got like 3,000 counties in the nation, the county is as the pivot foot for all the justice system changes, because the sheriff can actually change the way we operate jails, the way we do prevention, the way he influences the prosecutor. I mean, the prosecutor and the executive are important, but when push comes to shove, it's the sheriff that provides the data, it's the sheriff that provides the story, it's the sheriff that provides the rules and the laws, and he can cover up anything he wants, or he or she. A sheriff can change the way we do business, community business in this nation, and we can do it, especially because guess what? All the sheriffs are networked. So if we develop a new model, and we can do it here in Whatcom County right now, we've got 3 jails to work with, we've got new county executive, a new prosecutor, we've got new people to work with that are getting elected, and if we put our minds to it, we can change the system, and we can do it here, we can do it now, and we can do it in November. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're ready for a big change, and we know you're ready to step in and help us do it.
Yeah, we can do
So
it.
thank
Yeah.
both of you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Thank
Thank you so
Lynette.
much.